goes. Ready? Okay. Find a comfortable seat. Take a few breaths. Checking in with your body today. You could even place your hands somewhere on your body that feels comforting or like it helps you center yourself. And just starting to follow this inner world, feeling your seat, feeling the energy moving through you, however it is right now, without trying to fix or change it, just feeling. And we'll take a bow or any gesture of your choice to start. Well, I would like to start with some aimless wandering because I think it would be really nice to just get out of our heads and into our bodies. So you could just lay back onto the floor or you could stand up, however your body is feeling, and just decide how you want to move around today. Just moving into the body, however you want to move. Following sensation. If you get stuck on anything or you're unsure or you're confused, I think rolling around is just a really nice way to get into it. Just feeling all of the compression of the floor against the muscle, against bone. All the tissues get to wake up. Just waking everything up and moving into the body. I have to say, while I was away this week, I mostly slept on the floor. I was a floor person, but I think one of the advantages of being a floor person in yoga makes it so much easier to be a floor person in sleep. Because normally I have a really hard time just like without cushion, but I think consistent yoga practice, consistent moving into feeling on the floor, using the floor as support and finding that good stress and good compression has made me an easier sleeper on the floor. So that's just a little plug for being a floor person. But we'll just keep moving for a couple more minutes, however you want to move. The floor is our friend, so we'll utilize it while we can. You can jump around. You can flap your little wings. However you want to move. Doesn't have to look good, and it doesn't have to look like me. But we're just in our bodies and we're rejoicing, being in a body, feeling a body, feeling a body. Perhaps you're feeling warmer or you're feeling more embodied. We're trying to leave the brain, the mental thinking, and we're just feeling, following impulse, following the little dance of movement, however it moves you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just a little bit longer. Breathing, always breathing. Whatever movement you got, just starting to slow it down a little bit. Winding the movement down, but still staying present with the body. And you can start to come to a comfortable seat again, finding your butterfly wing feet, your butterfly knees, making this nice diamond shape with the lower half of the body. And just breathing here for a moment in the simplicity. Feeling the echoes of aimless wandering. So as we go into our butterfly today, I'd like to offer the suggestion of placing a bolster or a pillow or a rolled up blanket underneath your feet. So now the hips are slightly raised, the feet are obviously raised. And so this is gonna change the target area, this hip crease. You might feel a little bit more sensation, different sensation, and interesting sensation. Without trying to label it too much, to see if this is a place that you'd like to hang out today. And maybe you just hang out here without folding forward. But you're always welcome to stack things to bring the floor to you. Or you could just recline right over the feet, letting gravity take hold. Freeing the breath. Climbing into sensation. And so along with traveling and sleeping on the floor, there's also a lot of downtime, kind of waiting, driving from one location to another, long periods of time just kind of sitting in limbo. And it made me realize that driving in a car is a really good metaphor for life, because it's like we have these destinations and we want to get to these places, and we're so eager to get to the final destination and we're completely missing the ride. And so maybe we can just treat each moment like a really fun car ride that we want to be on. So as we're here in our practice and we want to be somewhere else, or we'd rather be doing the dishes or this project or that thing or lunch, we can just know that those things are somewhere along the ride. We're going to meet those stops eventually. But right now, we're taking this detour or that detour. We're still en route. We're still in a car. We've still got a body. We still have the ability to breathe. And most importantly, we have the ability to choose to want to be here, to choose to stay with our current experience. Just going along for the ride. There are a few more breaths in this shape. And if you're folded forward, you can start to rise up. You could lean back and maybe just toss your props over to the side, kick them over, stretch out your legs long. And just come to a flat back for a moment. Like a mini Shavasana here. Good. And we'll come back up. And now we'll set up for a half butterfly. So keep your prop nearby. And we'll start with the left side. So we'll bend the right foot in towards the pelvis. We'll extend that left leg out long. And then we'll put our prop right over our leg somewhere where we feel like it's high enough that we could fold over it. And then turn your torso over to the left and fold right over that left leg. I like this little meditation cushion because it's nice to just hug. So maybe you've got a good pillow for hugging. And you'll notice here that the kidneys are getting a nice little massage. The liver is getting a good massage here too, and the stomach. Butterfly and half butterfly are wonderful for our organs. Another plug for being a floor person. I'm just going to put it out there that doing yoga also really helped me sit in the car for 10 hours straight. So it wasn't just like the meditative, metaphorical quality of it, but physically, it was a lot easier to withstand that kind of space from doing yoga consistently. So just another hip hip hooray for yoga. It's a good practice. And so know that the work that's happening right now is really good. Just be here for a little bit less than one more minute. You can start to pick your head back up if you're folded forward. Let the spine become long. You can bring your prop over to the other side. We'll just lean back and windshield wiper to cleanse between the poses. Just feeling the sacrum, the flat part of the spine touching the ground. Undoing, unraveling, unclenching. And coming back up, this time we'll extend that right leg out long, bend the left knee, find your prop, get it nice and situated, balanced on that right leg. Find a good centered place for your torso over that right leg. And you can give your prop a hug, or you can just come down onto the leg itself. Another metaphor I've been contemplating a lot lately is the idea of the pressure inside a balloon. It feels like with all the stories in our heads and external circumstances beyond our control, just like everyday, day-to-day routine and mundane, whatever it is that's going on, there's like a lot of pressure built up in the body and in the mind, and it feels like a balloon that's really, really tight. And so maybe we can just let a little bit of that pressure out of the balloon. Like when you just like let some of the air go and it's all like, it's like that. So we can do that here. Just let some of the pressure out. It's okay to just, it helps to make that noise too. It's like, yeah, we gotta do that thing. Yeah, this is serious, but can we just like take some of the pressure off of it? A little less intense. Just dialing back. In places where we feel like the intensity is there, you notice it. And just find a little relief. Physically, mentally, even spiritually. A few more breaths here. You can start to lift your torso back up. Gently place your prop off to the side for the time being and find your way into a tabletop position. Once you get there, just do some cat-cows to start. Wake up the spine. The spine should already be mostly awake from the aimless wandering in the first couple poses, but maybe there's some sticky parts that we still haven't uncovered that would be really nice to move into right now. Moving in your own time, undulating the spine. And then returning to flat back again. Just find like a good foundation beneath you, perhaps even putting some cushion underneath the knees. And at this point, you could either push your hips back and come into a child's pose, or you could walk your hands a little bit forward and come into a puppy pose, leaving your hips in the air. Two different poses, just offering variations of puppy poses in your practice today. Child's pose is just as nice, even though we're targeting different areas. So just be mindful of that. You can feel free to go back and forth between them, but maybe stopping and staying for a moment or two. without struggle. Finding the balance, learning how to stay, and being decisive about when to move next. As long as the choice is conscious, we're making conscious choices to stay or to leave or to change. If you have to move, it'd be fun to just recognize, okay, my body wants to move now. I don't want to be in this position. Why is that? Or what are the circumstances that are leading me to this? And just noting it. Is it mental? Is it physical? Is it a combination of both? We'll just be here for a little bit less than a minute more. Enjoying the ride. Maybe we're in traffic, but we're still in the car. We'll get there eventually, wherever there is. Perhaps there was here all along. So now we can exit this pose. Whether you were in child's pose or in puppy pose, we'll meet in a sphinx. So just bringing the belly down to the ground, parallel your arms. The legs can just be however they land. They don't have to be too wide or too narrow, somewhere in between. Excuse me. And we'll just raise the chest slightly, feeling that lovely little arch in the back. And finding ourselves here. Again, if you want more sensation, you can take your bolster or your pillow blanket situation, and you could put your arms on top of that. You can also put your arms underneath and let your head come down. That's a nice little weight on top of the hands. You can also put something right up against your belly with your arms out over it. So this is supporting and compressing the belly a little bit. And the arms don't have to do too much work. You're kind of just supported by the bolster. And if you'd like to move up into seal with straightened arms, that might just happen naturally with how you got your props. Or maybe this is a choice for more sensation. Enjoying the journey. The destination is in the journey somewhere. Taking out some of the pressure and just allowing ourselves to be here. Just be here for a little bit longer. The good news is we're not in a car for 10 hours right now. We've only got like 15, 20 minutes left to be here. Not in this pose even, just in class in general. So that's something that we can think about too, that we're not confined, that everything is temporary, and that we have space right now to be here specifically, to train ourselves to be with the present moment. Continuously arriving in the now. Whatever situation you've got going, in no fancy way whatsoever, let's just find ourselves out of Sphinx and onto our backs. You can keep the knees bent, or you can just straighten out the legs. So now let's just meet with legs bent, soles of the feet on the ground, and we'll cross the right knee over the left knee. Lift your feet up, and you can put your prop underneath your feet and just hang out like this. This is good compression here. Or you could grab onto your ankles and kind of hold in this forward fold, reclined forward fold with shoelace legs. You could also hold onto your knees. Or you could put your foot up against a wall. There are ways to do this so that your hands don't have to effort so much. Wherever you land, you're just finding a place that feels like a good amount of sensation without strain, without tension, without adding more air into the balloon. We don't want it to pop. Here we're targeting the outer hips and the inner hips a little bit too. Bringing good blood flow, good stress, healthy tissues, healthy oxygen into our legs and our hip muscles and joints, tendons, bones. This is like a huge hub of our existence, exists in this part of our body. So it's nice that we're taking care of these elements right now. We're bringing good chi, good energy, circulation, really. It's all about circulation. We're bringing circulation to this big part of our body that connects the lower half with the upper half. This will create really good circulation for the whole system. Anything we unblock here brings movement up and down, greater range. If you have a bind, if you have your hands clasped anywhere, you can let them go. And then keeping that right knee over the left, just bring them over to the left side. So now we're in a twisted roots twist. And you can always put pillows or blankets underneath your legs so that the floor can catch them, the floor can meet you, or underneath a shoulder, underneath your hips. We're really just unfurling in this twist. Letting out some of the pressure. Pressures of being a good student, of being a good yogi. Pressures of getting anything right or wrong. Getting the most benefits out of a pose. It's pressure we don't need here. We just know this is what's happening. And we can allow ourselves to be with the moment. letting go of the jaw, letting go of any tension in between the eyebrows. Even those really big muscles in the thighs, you can loosen up a little bit too. Okay, now swing those leggies back up and around. You can uncross your feet. Find a resting spot with both your feet on the ground, knees pointed up. And maybe even pushing your feet into the floor just to lift the hips for a moment. So it's like you're doing a little bit of an efforting bridge pose. A little yang energy here. We're using some muscle, but it'll be really nice for the lower back to engage for a moment. So just pushing into the feet, lifting up from the belly button, like there's a string pulling your belly button up into the air. And then you can let that all come down. Windshield wiper. And now we can cross that left leg over the right. And here, just placing a foot on a prop or holding onto your feet for this reclined shoelace fold. Holding onto a knee. Whatever feels most comfortable, most accessible. What's true here? What's true, ultimately, here, right now? Listening to your body, you can start to transition into the twisted roots twist on the other side, letting go of any bind with your hands and just letting your knees fall to the right now in your twisted roots. Adapting your props to suit your needs of this moment. Any cushion or support. friend just sent me a meme recently of like Zoom calls when you live in the city be like, I'm gonna have like all this noise in the background. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is my life. But I've come to really love it and appreciate it. And I'm really thankful that you're here with me for this soundscape. It's kind of fun. I have another friend who I meditate with. She lives like literally in the prairie of Colorado in the middle of nowhere. And so when we meditate together, I hear these birds coming from her side and it's really quiet, serene. And on my side, you hear dumpster trucks and racing cars and bachata music. They're beeping. And it's actually kind of nice to like merge worlds, to like be here now with this weird reality that we have where we can be in multiple places at once. It's kind of interesting.
You had the ice cream truck.
And the ice cream truck. Cannot forget about her. She will make an appearance during Shavasana, most definitely. Fingers crossed. Let's just take a moment to really surround ourselves with sound, to swim in it, to hear what's here, what's happening right now, any layer of sound you can pick up. You can start to untwist. Come to your flat back again. Soles of your feet on the ground. We'll just lift our hips up one more time. Just feeling that tug from the belly button like you've got an invisible string and your soles of your feet are rooted into the ground, pushing your feet into the floor to lift the hips up. Breathing freely. And then let your spine come back to the floor, vertebrae by vertebrae. Take any movement here that your body is asking for. And we'll end with a happy baby. So you can grab onto your ankles or you can grab onto the sides of your feet, the outer edges. You can grab inside your knees. And we won't be here for very long, but we'll try to enjoy the whole ride. This is when it's like bumper to bumper traffic. And you're just like, I really have to pee. But we're here and we'll get through it. We're actually not suffering too bad when you really think about it. There are worse places to be than this one. In fact, this is a pretty lucky place to be. We're safe, we're free. We have the ability and capacity to think and feel. And we're breathing. See if you can let out a little bit of pressure. While still maintaining the shape of the balloon. We're not completely deflated. And we're not to the point of popping. Great. You can bring the soles of your feet together. Just push your heels a little bit towards your pelvis, rock side to side. And then just let those leggies down. Take any final windshield wipers, little wiggles, ventriculation. And then find your Shavasana. Today, it feels nice to make a really big X on the ground with the body. So maybe that's a suggestion for you to land in. You're always without a doubt welcome to take your own journey here. So we'll just take a rest here on our journey. You can turn the engine off or something. There are a bunch of metaphors in here. Maybe the car's an idol. I don't know. But you don't have to work so hard at all. Just take a ride in the back seat, if you will. And we're still here. We're still alive. Breathing in the next breath. Fresh air. Fresh new moment. New opportunity. Taking a moment of gratitude for this opportunity to exist in a conscious way. Give yourself a little hug in fetal position, honoring the time you've taken today to be with yourself, to train in present moment awareness, to train in being a floor person, being really good at it. We will come to sit to close. We dedicate our practice to all beings, particularly those suffering right now in East Asia, in the Middle East. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be at peace. Closing with a bell. Thanks, Annie.
Thanks, Sadie.
You're welcome.